So I've had my excavation business now for over 12 years, and I've definitely had a lot of experiences, and I've got some stories to tell. So I'm going to start telling some of these stories. The first one is to always follow your gut instinct. If you feel something about someone is not right, you're probably 100% correct. When I first started, I was all excited, bought my first excavator, I was parking it at a yard, and the young guy that parked his machine next to mine was similar age. He'd started about a month before me. It was good. He gave me some valuable information. He was telling me which plant hire agencies to register with. He was helping me, telling me which insurance company he used, super, union tickets, this, that. He was good. He was good for all that sort of information. But I always had this feeling that there's something a bit dodgy about him. And then a lot of the guys that parked at the yard always seem to have had some sort of drama with him in the past. But I thought, mate, he seems to be all right to me. So took it on face value. I was using my Subaru WRX, to go to work every day, but I found that I needed a four-wheel drive, and the ute especially, so I could put all my tools in the back, the diesel tank, blah blah blah. He had a ute that he was about to sell, and I'd sat in that ute with him as a passenger. We've been going to pick up parts together with it, been off-roading and stuff, and it seemed like a nice ute. And when he said he's going to sell it, I said, listen, I'll buy it off you. Usually, I check things 100% before I buy them. I don't know why, but it must have been that I was that excited about starting the business. I just kept buying everything at face value. Bought the ute off him, didn't even test drive it, assuming everything was going to be all right. On the way home, I noticed it wouldn't go into second gear properly. The engine was making some noises, a whole bunch of other stuff. Seatbelts were always a little bit damp. I don't know, I just had this eerie feeling that something wasn't right with the car. And I thought, I think I've made a mistake here. Anyway, I tried calling him numerous times to try and get in touch with him, try and meet up with him and show him what's wrong with the car. I tried calling the mechanics where he got the roadworthy. Obviously got it done a bit dodgy because they weren't very helpful. It took me a while. I'm usually a placid person, but it took me a while before I cracked, and he wouldn't answer his phone and stuff after I bought it. Didn't see him that often anymore. I found out where he lived and went straight to his house. At his house, I met his parents, explained what had happened. They said they were extremely disappointed with him. Obviously, he's given them that sort of hassle before. I noticed he had heaps of cars at his house, so he obviously buys and sells cars on the side. It wasn't until I made his parents call him and tell him that I was there that he actually came down and said, "Oh, I'll fix it all for you. Just take it to this wreckers down the road somewhere. They'll put a whole new gearbox in for you. I'll pay for it all." So I thought everything would be fixed. Went to the wreckers. They did put a new gearbox in, but what I found was then the car was actually written off in the big floods that we had a few years before that, and it was written off for flood damage. That's why the seatbelts were always wet. That's why it always smelt a bit mouldy in there. So it was in the VIV register, which I didn't even know. So another thing that went wrong. So all in all, I ended up keeping that car, fixed up whatever I did. Nothing I could do about it. But just a lesson for everyone. If you've got a gut feeling about someone, it's probably going to be correct.